Hello and welcome. We are here today to talk about Asimov again. Yeah, I'm still reading Robots and Empire. You know what? After that first part, after that first 100 pages, it got a whole heck of a lot more readable. The book picked up the pace, stuff started happening. It's just you had to make it through page 102 before stuff really started happening here in this next part. So Gladia, our protagonist, is on a ship with like the semi-protagonist, D.G. Bailey. They go to Solaria. They land on Solaria. They encounter robots. The robots lead to danger. There's a crisis, and along the way, there's some personal interactions that are kind of interesting. The book actually got kind of weirdly readable after 102 pages of man. It sure felt like a slog. I've actually read further than what we're talking about here. I'm a little over halfway through the book. And as a reminder, I got this from the Cersova magazine guy. He held a giveaway, and so this is my prize. Thanks, man. Dude, this book is shedding stuff. I hope that's not toxic and going to kill me or something. I don't know. Every time I move this book, I find more little paper flakes. I think the book is committing suicide. It doesn't want to be read. But the point is, we actually got some interesting action going on here. Now, some of it's left unexplained. It's all written in kind of a stilted way, but it's there. Things happen. Things of consequence happen. Things that aren't just people sitting around being like, I have a big brain, you have a big brain, let us speak big brain together. There's a lot of that still. But it's all in the service of something happening because they're going somewhere, they're doing something. Now, what I found interesting is two things. In this world, racism and sexism are both still super lively. Much to my surprise, like Star Trek, this is not. So the settler people just really, really hate the spacers. The spacers really, really hate the settler people. And at one point, Gladia, they just landed. She gets off the ship, just looking at her home, trying to recognize it from the distance and going, yeah, I don't really recognize this place. And some of the crew come over and they start harassing her because of who she is. You know, because of where she was born, because of the fact that she's a woman. And that doesn't go so well for them. That does not go well for them at all. And then we escalate that a little bit because all the dialogue, basically, and it was in the first chapter and it's in the stuff after this second part too that I've already read. There's a whole lot of just we hate spacers. It's very direct. It's very upfront. Spacers hate settlers. Settlers hate spacers. They all hate each other. And I've seen some of where this is going because I've read the next probably 80 pages. The Solaria section, where it was really interesting stuff, was maybe 70 pages long. We started on page 103, and we did not linger for very long. I mean, here's 175, and we're already basically going back to Bailey World. So the amount of action going on here is kind of small. In fact, it amounts to those two incidents. One where she has an interaction with the crew, and then one where they're dealing with the robots on the planet. And that part is all fraught with danger and fun, and actually felt a lot like I was reading iRobot again, because it's a conflict of the three laws and the robots' heads and stuff like that. Kind of interesting stuff. I think I've used the word kinda a lot, haven't I? Which may mean that it's not particularly interesting, but I don't know. It was a whole lot better than the first chunk of the book. It's interesting to me, having peered ahead a little bit past this immediate material, to see that, how do I put it? That not only is racism alive and well, it's kind of celebrated. The settlers are all patting themselves on the back for hating spacers. All of them. It's weird, man. You usually don't see that kind of thing as a benefit, like a plus in modern science fiction, and yet it very much is here. I'm not sure where this is going. I'm not sure if that's going to be the final punchline of the book was that it's going to be boy, it sure is good that all those evil spacer people have unalived or something. I don't know if that's where we're headed, but it sure kind of feels like that at the point of the book that that we're talking about and that I've read. There you go. There's your Asimov update. I hope you've enjoyed watching the book cover, because it's just prose, man. There's not actually a whole lot in here to show you other than it's prose. And there's not really egregious writing in this like there was in the first section of the book where it's kind of like, let me just read you a couple of these sentences because they're crazy. We ain't got that here. There's nothing really wild in here except that I actually enjoyed these 70 pages. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great day, great night, great whatever you got going on. Hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye bye.